Will 2026 is the last house prove there's no place like home?
Or sometimes home is where the horror is. Find out next on the cutting room floor.
Trapped in the house.
Someone get us out of here. What's up, misfits and metalheads, and welcome to another episode of the cutting room floor. We are from the band Cut Like This. I'm Thorn Black.
I'm Rose Blood.
And today we are talking about The Last House, currently streaming on Netflix. But first, don't forget we have music all over the place. Go hook a band up, give us some likes, subscribe, follows, and streams. You got YouTube videos right down below. Rose, why don't we dive into this one, and why don't you tell them a little bit about it?
All right, well, this movie is about a family of four who finds themselves trapped in their house under mysterious circumstances and a never-ending rain. And this leads to a fight for survival as their resources start to dwindle, as you could imagine. This starts off, they think it's just like a little freak storm weird thing, and then it just ends up expanding and becoming a much larger phenomenon.
Oh yeah, it gets real crazy really quick actually, because with this rain comes all of a sudden they cannot leave their house.
They are totally trapped inside. They try bashing through the windows, they try doing all kinds of stuff, and it just doesn't work.
And every time they try and think they feel, oh, this window, that window, this window, this door, and they think they're gonna break through the house, the rain actually forms a barrier and stops them from leaving. So this is not normal rain. I don't know what's going on in here, but it sure enough isn't normal.
That's for sure. The director is Louis Leterrier. He did actually the 2008 Incredible Hulk with Ed Norton in it, which I actually really like that one.
I thought that was a good one. I did like that one,
Yeah,
actually.
and he actually also directed the first two Transporter movies, Transporter 1 and 2.
Ooh, especially the first one.
Yep, and he directed that magician heist movie, Now You See Me.
Yeah, those are cool.
Yeah. And the writer for this was Matthew Robinson. He actually did, remember that movie Love and Monsters?
Yes.
He really enjoyed that movie. That was like in 2020. He also wrote Edge of Tomorrow. And he also wrote Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, which we just recently reviewed, episode 97 of the Cutting Room Floor. You should definitely check that one out. So, actually somebody that we were very familiar with. And he does cover some of the kind of surreal topics that he does in other things, but kind of going around in a different way with this kind of more of like a nature phenomenon, if you will. So it's interesting. The mom is, her name is Anne, and she's played by Greta Lee. She was in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. She was one of the voice actors for that. She was in that show Russian Doll, which we really liked.
I remember the name of that show. I can't remember.
That was the one where she keeps like replaying the same day over and over again. And
Russian
stuff like
Doll.
that.
Oh,
yeah.
with the one with the red hair. Yeah. Okay.
I was actually in an episode of that, by the way. And she was also in What We Do in the Shadows for an episode. But Russian Doll is the one she was in. Like, yep. And the dad is played by his name is Jason. He's played by Wagner Moura. He plays Pablo Escobar in the TV series Narcos. And his daughter Ruth is played as a child by Riley Chung and as a teen by Emma Ho. The son is Graham, and he's played by Noah Alexander Sosnowski as a child, and as a teen he's played by Gabriel Barbosa. So this is the main core. There are some other characters in this, but this is like we're really with this family for like the majority of the film. There are some other people in the neighborhood, most notably the Robinsons across the street. They're like an elderly couple that they kind of like write to each other on chalkboards. It definitely gave me a lot of COVID vibes. You know what I mean? I have a feeling that might have been part of the inspiration for this, during like COVID times. This was a very unique story, I found.
Definitely. It was really interesting. They definitely have a different take on just like this. It's kind of like a creature feature because they definitely have an encounter with something that is not human and is very intelligent. They definitely know what they're doing, because these are the things that trapped everybody, and I mean everybody, as far as we know, inside their house. And then just kind of, I kind of feel like they're just kind of like, oh, there's a can of food, and there's a can of food, and there's a can, like the houses start becoming like a can of food, you know what I mean? And like nobody can get out of their house. People are communicating by big chalkboards through their window trying to talk to neighbors, like there are no cell phones
No
working,
Wi-Fi.
no Wi-Fi. Thankfully, for a good chunk of this, they do have electricity for a while, because, again, everybody doesn't just die right out. Everybody is trapped. And then you get the slow, lingering people falling off one by one, and then stuff in society slowly not working anymore because, yeah, I found it really interesting how these people were trapped in a house, like and there was like nothing they could do to get out. Literally trying to break windows, and the water just kind of and sealing it so they can't get out. That was crazy. That was crazy.
Yeah, it was. It was. It was very, very. It was definitely a nice, like, kind of like claustrophobic, trapped, and then you have like the drama of like what the hell, trying to discover the mystery of what's happening and why it's happening, and also the inner conflict between, just imagine being trapped in a house with two kids and two adults and stuff, and there's always like that kind of clash, and we all kind of got to experience that. Like I said, during COVID times, we were all kind of trapped inside, so I feel like that was definitely, that's definitely now, because of that global issue, something that we can all kind of globally understand and recognize what that feeling is. So I think that that was an interesting way to play on something that was kind of that's now become part of the global consciousness, basically.
And these guys got cabin fever to
they got it to the max. They got it to the max.
But you can't blame them. They were trapped inside for so long, and then trying to figure out how to get food, because how do you get food? You can't go to the supermarket. Think about that. You're trapped in a house. You literally cannot leave anywhere. How do you get food? How do you keep surviving? How do you get water? How do you so these are a lot of the issues that they solve. And then as the movie goes on, stuff becomes worse and worse, and then they start becoming hunted, and that's when it starts getting really, really interesting to me.
I think it definitely got it definitely got more interesting towards the end. There's definitely a lot of suspension of disbelief required to enjoy this film. Because it definitely
one thing, and this is in the trailer, so this is not a spoiler, but it cracks me up, because I'm like, that doesn't even make any sense, I'm not saying the majority of the movie doesn't make sense, but there's just one scene where the dad's frustrated and he's trying to get out the house, and it's like when they first kind of get locked in, and he's going crazy, and then he's kicking the front door, and they do one of the scenes, and I remember this from that 70s show, and they did it comedically in that 70s show. And this one, I don't know if it's supposed to be as comedic, but I still find it kind of funny, where he kicks the door with a front kick as hard as he can, and then goes flying in the opposite direction, and I found that hilarious, especially because I'm like, your door opens in. You're kicking it like it would never open that way. Even if the door was unlocked and you could walk directly out of it, you kicking the door with the hinges on the inside. I'm like, just little details. I'm like, the hinges are on the inside of the door. A kick's not going to work anyway. What do you do? And they're prying the door open from the garage door open from the side. I'm like, the garage door doesn't open from the side.
What doesn't. I think
little tiny things. It's not that big of a deal.
I think that was to show like just how desperate they are.
Yes, I think you're correct. I think you're correct.
I think it was just a situation where it's just
he's not in his right mind.
He's not in his right mind. Like he's becoming increasingly desperate.
He's frantic.
Because this doesn't make sense.
Yes,
and when the human mind is confronted with something that it contradicts known reality, it can cause kind of a psychosis, and he definitely goes through. He has a couple of those kind of psycho moments.
But to me, it does make a lot of sense for them to kind of snap at moments and lose it and do stuff that doesn't make sense.
Because we saw during COVID that, like, people will go.
You're gonna go a little nuts.
Stir crazy.
You're gonna go stir crazy.
They definitely. Cabin fever is a real thing. It really does happen.
And then you're having things that don't follow the laws of physics happen to you. At all, with no explanation.
And that just makes it worse.
It does.
That would make it exponentially
feeds into
worse.
everything. So I definitely get that. I'm not saying it's totally out of left field or anything. Just, a little something I noticed about the music. I did enjoy the creatures themselves, actually. I thought the creature looked really cool. I like how they made them. I like how imposing they were. Because I was like, you're not gonna one-on-one beat that thing. You weren't. It was definitely imposing and strong and quick. And they they have extra abilities because they're locking everybody in their homes. They bring the rain when they want the rain. Like, it doesn't rain all the time, but it rains every day. It rains when they want it to rain. And when it rains, that's when they appear. It's like, rain them. And it's just like, and the rain stops and they're gone. I'm like, what? But you can't really see because you're trapped in the house again. You know what I mean? Until later on when, you know what I mean? They try to open that can of tuna. That's their family. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. All of that being said, we like to rate via chainsaw here, with 5 chainsaws being a masterpiece of horror. 1 chainsaw. Well, you ain't getting out of the house with that. So, Thorn Black, how many chainsaws would you give to The Last House?
I'm going to give The Last House, streaming on Netflix, a 3.5 out of 5 chainsaws.
Ooh.
This is a pretty cool movie. It's really interesting. I've never seen this concept before, and I like where he was coming from with the creatures and some of the unknown. I'm like, yeah, actually, if you think about it, I like, you know what I mean? It's like, I see where he's going with that, and I kind of like it. Yeah, it was a cool movie. I did enjoy it. Is it a perfect movie? It's not perfect, but is it enjoyable? Definitely. And it definitely is doing things and has a concept that I haven't seen before. They're doing things I haven't seen before. You know what I mean? They have the creatures, that are their own to this movie. The way they do them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was cool. It was definitely unique. I was engaged. I definitely had to finish this because I had to see how it ended, you know?
Yeah.
I do feel like we could have had a little bit more creature throughout the movie, maybe just a little bit more, and maybe a little bit sooner, maybe, you know what I mean? But overall, enjoyable, and I'm not mad that I watched it.
Okay.
Rose, what are you going to give this one?
I'm going to give 2026's The Last House 3 chainsaws, and I'm going to tell you why. First off, there is a domesticated animal that something bad happens to in this movie. So if you're a person who is sensitive to that particular thing, I would recommend that you don't watch this.
I mean, don't watch a horror movie if you don't want to see horror.
I mean, certain people love horror, but they just don't want to see anything bad happen specifically to domesticated pets. So something bad does happen. It's not really shown, but it does happen. So there's your warning for that. I think there was a lot of very interesting concepts in this that I haven't ever seen before, which is kind of what this writer is known for. He's kind of known for, he's done a lot of films where it's unusual, kind of sci-fi, kind of, high concept, surreal ish kind of stuff. So this was definitely a concept I've never ever seen before.
Right.
I had to suspend my disbelief really hard a bunch of times, which I felt was detrimental to my enjoyment of the film. And, really, really foolish decisions are made by characters. But again, they have cabin fever and they are trapped in this house. Like, they don't have any interaction with anybody really except for each other. You're going to go crazy. You're going to
get tired of your family after a while. You're trapped.
You're going to get real.
You love them. You love them.
Especially the younger ones, and things like that. So that's what I took away stars for. However, this is a very unique concept. The creature when you do get to see it is really really cool looking, which I very much enjoyed. It's very Lovecraftian looking, but it doesn't have the dourness of most kind of Lovecraftian creature films. But I will say it's Lovecraftian. Yeah, that's what I gotta say about it.
You have your homework for the weekend. You're welcome. Once again, we are from the band Cut Like This. Like, follow, subscribe, do all the things. Click the bells. Hook us up with some comments. Have you seen this? Are you going to see this? Let us know in the comments. We are out.